This computer.
Hold on.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
We live in this bitch or what?
Yeah, we are.
Are we live?
Welcome to episode 1 of Bob's Locks.
How we doing, everybody? It's like 3:30 in the morning.
It
There's
is.
never a better time. Why at this? My bet hasn't paid out. My second bet hasn't paid out.
It's
FanDuel's being a little whore.
FanDuel is tough, but they have the service.
Yes.
They do
Yes,
take
do.
care of their customers. But again, I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Sylvester.
It's your boy Bob back in this bitch. We're ready to go.
Let's
We're
do it.
betting hella for March Madness. Got a pretty interesting bracket.
I wanna start off by saying though,
Let's hear it.
what a time to be a college basketball fan in
Amen.
Indiana.
Amen.
Oh my God.
If you haven't booked them already, tickets are cheap. Me and Skeeter going to the game Saturday with my dad.
It's going to be an absolute time. Creighton, UCSB, that's one to watch for.
Yep.
But here we go.
All right.
Let's start off strong here.
Start off strong. Let's see. I'll go in order by the times we got people playing tomorrow. First game of the day, you've got a
Let me get a screen.
and on the book, it's a dead even. I honestly can see it as a coin flip, but I like Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech has played better down the stretch. And as we saw with the games going on today, success can carry over to the tournament very easily. I do like Virginia Tech in that one. FanDuel's got them at minus 108. Same with Florida for that matchup. I like that one a lot. I like the over in that game as well at 135 if you're undecided on who you think can win that one.
I'm interested to hear a little more about the over in that game because I also have Virginia Tech to win this game. I couldn't take the money line here, so I have the spread at minus 110. But
yeah, the over in this one is interesting because they've only got it at 135. And when you look at a conference like the SEC where Florida is used to playing at, the SEC is probably the highest scoring conference in college basketball outside of maybe the Big 12.
Let's pull up.
Big 10's a relatively low scoring. Pac-12 is usually a lot more defense. Pretty similar in that aspect. So I think right off the bat, you look at a Florida team that can score quick and early, doesn't necessarily know what defense means. So for us, betting the over, that's a good thing. Makes our lives a lot.
Leading scorers, Trey Mann and Keontae Johnson.
Yeah. And they also had that dude keel over on the court and die almost.
Oh
so
my gosh.
So that's kind of like, hey, you're pretty soft if you had somebody do that. So I can see that being
definitely a point of issue.
Yeah, that's just something that's like, I mean, like, is somebody else going to keel over and die? You don't know. But I mean, you look at a Virginia Tech team that's averaging, I mean, they're averaging 72.1 points per game playing against an SEC team. Like, it's pretty hard not to look at that over and salivate a little bit. So, I'm sticking with that. I think the over is probably a better play than the money line, but I also really like that money line bet a lot.
Awesome.
Let's get right into the next one here. Going in order. I'll come back to Colgate, Arkansas, because I'm sure you've heard a lot about that game.
I'm interested to hear more.
Yes, I will come back to that one.
Former IU player Justin Smith, Arkansas, now at Arkansas. Yeah. So always some interest there.
Probably made the right choice by going to a better team. Right. My next pick that I like a lot, the 145 game, Texas Tech -4. I do think that game is interesting. I think Utah State's a little underestimated in a sense, but also you're looking at a Utah State team that had to get an at-large bid out of the what are they, Mountain West? Yeah, they're Mountain West Conference.
Mountain West always brings up questions for me. And I think Texas Tech got very disrespected with this number 6 bid. Yeah. I think they are a team to watch in this tournament because they've proven I mean, they proved in the last tournament that was played, and they've proven throughout the year that they can play in that tough conference that we've seen. I mean, we've seen Baylor just run away, but
exactly. I mean, you look at, you got McClung and Shannon on your team. If those two are on, they can beat a lot of teams in this tournament. And also it's worth noting, like, Utah State had a worse record than Boise State, and Boise State didn't make the tournament. They're in the NIT. And I thought Boise State was a better team than Utah State. I thought Boise State was more talented than Colorado State. They just lost some games when they played head-to-head.
Yeah. And, as a boy from Boulder, Colorado, we hate to be a CSU Ram. Let's go Buffs. Fuck them up. Go CU.
Exactly.
That is what I have for you guys here coming up. That's a Saturday game.
Yeah.
But
hey, we'll be talking about that tomorrow.
That's gonna be something coming up tomorrow, because always
beer sticky.
Some interesting players there. But back to Texas Tech. My uncle went there. They're always going to be picked in my bracket. I'm always going to take them too.
I think the under, if you're looking at points on that one, the under is an interesting play at 131. Texas Tech, yeah, they can score a lot of points, but they play very good half-court defense. Utah State comes from the Mountain West Conference, where unless you're Boise State,
typically smaller guys.
Yeah, like unless you're Boise State or Colorado State out of that conference, you play defense. I mean, look at San Diego State. They got a 6 seed strictly because they can stop anybody in the nation on defense. And I'll talk about San Diego State a lot in this tournament. I like them a lot. But I would say Texas Tech -4 is, in my opinion, my best bet of the day is Texas Tech -4. Moving right on to the next game. Ohio State -16 against Oral Roberts.
Interesting.
Yeah, in case you don't know, Oral Roberts is not good at the game of basketball.
Let's hear why.
They don't have any standout players, and as a team, there's not like, oh well, we don't know. It's not like a who's a great example of this? It's not like a Wisconsin, who I'm going to talk about later, because I have Wisconsin as an upset over North Carolina, but it's not like a Wisconsin team where it's like, oh, we don't have anybody who's a standout player, but we have a lot of very good players. They just don't have anyone who's like really good. Their conference tournament, they were, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know they weren't a 1 or a 2 seed in their tournament. The two better teams both got upset, and they kind of walked their way into the title and won it. Ohio State is a very dangerous team.
Big Ten bias too here.
Yeah.
Not to mention they were hot in that Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, they played well. I mean, you look at an Illinois team that's just stacked, and they gave them a run for their money. So,
oh my God, what a game. That came down to the wire.
Yeah.
For all of you who are watching that, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. One thing worth noting that I would maybe consider doing now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if any of you guys use where I know on Bovada, if you're not 21, you can buy points. For me, it's called a teaser on FanDuel. If you tease those two spreads by 4, you can get Texas Tech, essentially just Texas Tech money line, because they'd be even. It'd be -0.
I've never used
and then Ohio State -12. And so I would throw some serious money on that. I myself am probably gonna throw 25, 30 on it, because you'll still get a payout of you'll profit $40, 40, 50. It's a good take in for 2 games, especially when you're getting them on Bob's locks. My last pick that I am passionate about for the day, Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin money line. They are an underdog.
I got them at even.
Yeah, Skeet got them at even. I've got them at +106. So I mean, 20 to win 21. So it's essentially even. I like Wisconsin a lot. I think they're very balanced, like I was just saying earlier. They've got a bunch of good players. Size-wise, North Carolina tends to have an advantage in the ACC outside of playing like Virginia, Florida State, and I think Wisconsin matches up very well with them. And I think Wisconsin's got better guard play. And I think that's what it's going to come down to in that one.
I mean, I think you could also argue that Wisconsin was within that top 25 at the end of the season there following the Big
Yeah.
Ten tournament. And North Carolina, if you're asking me, I think that's just a name pick.
Yep. Yeah, I thought Wisconsin got disrespected with because are they the 9 seed?
They're the 9.
Yeah, they are the 9. They're the away team. Yeah, I thought they got disrespected with that a little bit. I don't think anybody got disrespected as much as and I guess it's pretty close between Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. I thought both those teams got disrespected pretty bad. Kansas getting a 3 seed was a joke. So those are the 4. I'll go ahead and recap them. I got Virginia Tech money line. Believe they're even at -108. Texas Tech -4. Vegas is favoring them to cover that spread. They got a -116. So like I was saying, it might be worth it to parlay it with the Ohio State spread at -16, but I like those both as straights. Wisconsin money line. I'm very confident in that one. I like Wisconsin a lot. Going into March Madness, I thought they were a team to watch out for. My last pick of the day that I'm going to talk about, there's a couple that were very close on my list. I thought San Diego State money line could be very close to being on my list. I just thought the odds were a little bit, I mean, it's -162, which isn't very steep, but in a straight bet, I don't know if it's worth it. I know in a parlay, I will probably parlay them in my in somewhere in one of my bets tomorrow. I think it could happen. Winthrop +6.5 is probably a spread worth teasing because you're looking at a Winthrop team that's 23-1, or 24-1. I think they're doing something right. I get it. They don't play a lot of good teams, but success, no matter who you're playing, is contagious.
I'm on the other side of this bet here. I'm not taking the bet, but in my bracket, I have Villanova because I saw a statistic. I believe it was only Purdue, Villanova, and one other team have been to the Elite Eight all of the last 5 tournaments. So I've got them going a little bit further than the first rounds.
Yeah.
Like my friend here does.
Yeah, because I've got Winthrop actually upsetting Villanova in the first round. I think Colin Gillespie being out hurts that team a lot. And I think Winthrop is a sneaky, what are they, 12 seed? It's a 12-5 game, right? Yeah. Yeah, because Purdue's the 4 seed in that bracket. I'd stay away from Colorado, Georgetown. I think Colorado's the better team. I think free throw shooting and 3-point shooting carry you. I mean, you look at the last March Madness, Auburn was a 3 seed, and they figured out how to shoot 3, and they made it to the Final Four. Purdue had Carson Edwards. Carson Edwards shot the 3.
He was reigning that tournament.
Yeah, Purdue shot very well from the 3-point line. Look how far they went. I mean, even a team like Virginia, who was defensive minded, who won that, shot like
Kyle Guy. They shot lights out.
They shot like 44% as a team from the 3-point line in the tournament, and I think shooting goes a long way. So I think Colorado's a good team. Georgetown's pretty hot because I think -230 might have been a little too steep for Colorado for me to take it, but I also think Georgetown could easily cover +5.5.
I agree with the Georgetown cover there because I do think it's going to tighten up at the end there, especially when those possessions start to go back and forth and just time is just slowing down.
Yeah. Before I give my long shot bet of the day, I do think it's worth noting. Some of the guys I talked to in the house, I've talked to them about this a lot. When it comes down to conference tournaments and especially March Madness, no matter how bad a given team is, they can easily cover the spread if they are +5.5, 6.5, whatever. Like, that's why I think a lot of, if you're into the teasing bets like I do, a lot of spreads getting teased up to where it's like +12.5. Those I think are just money